For the year 2020, I am filming a video review for every new movie I see, whether in theaters or at home, and on January 2017, I saw Parasite. Welcome to my year in movies. This is talking to myself. So Parasite made history at the Screen Actors Guild Award when it won the Best Ensemble Award, and that's just been like that's just one more entry in a long string of accolades, and the film absolutely deserves them. It was such a gripping film that even the fact that the guy next to me was answering his phone in the middle of the climax couldn't make me tell him to shut up because I didn't want to miss what was happening in front of me. If that's any indication of what kind of film it's like. So I haven't seen a lot of international films. I think this makes 4 for me after 3 Idiots, Bad Genius, and Running to Basanti. But Parasite is one of the more accessible ones, I think. Not that the other films I mentioned aren't. I really like Bad Genius. But this one was very accessible and it's very timely. The issues of class and kind of the haves, the have-nots and the have-nothings, that kind of intersection and what it means to be mobile in those classes is a very timely issue, one that people are talking about constantly. It's something that keeps people up at night. And so this film very artfully addresses that topic. In me saying that though, in a very cut and dry, this film's about class mobility and class struggle. The film is a lot more complex than that makes it sound. The screenwriters Bong Joon-ho and Han Jin-won very expertly avoid making the wealthy Park family stereotypically nasty and hateful. They're not obviously cruel. It's more their obliviousness and self-centeredness that heighten their neglect and their contribution to the struggles of those working for them. And that helps give the Kim's decisions, the Kim family, as they make their choices, it gives a little more weight, and it gives the audience something to figure out how they feel. Because if the Parks were obviously nasty, it'd be very easy to root for the Kims, but the Parks are just nice enough that it makes some of the choices the Kims make a little more complicated, and I really appreciated that. Because you don't decide right away, you can continue to guess as the film progresses, and this is a film that keeps you guessing the whole way. I had read a parent's review before watching the movie just to kind of gauge what I was getting into, which I'm going to advise you not do. But what I thought I knew one of the twists going into the film. But when that twist happened, turns out I had guessed all of the circumstances surrounding it incorrectly, and there were still more twists that I had no idea about. And my goodness, the sound of the doorbell halfway through the movie, it sends chills up my body even thinking about it now, and it's been 2 weeks since I've seen this film. It's crazy. It's so good. And speaking of halfway through the film, the pacing in this film is exquisite. The film is, I think, just over 2 hours long, 2 hours, 15 minutes, I think, and it flew by as if it were an hour and a half. It's sharp and every detail is necessary. When I came home and I watched video essays of stuff you may have missed when watching the film, that helped show that there's so much more happening than I was able to absorb on a first watch. And they have so many details in the film that I'm definitely going to pay attention to when I watch it again. And thankfully my boyfriend really wants to watch it, and I'm going to get to watch it with him. So I'll be able to watch for details when he's absorbing it for the first time. One thing I definitely want to pay attention to more in later viewings are the performances. As mentioned, the cast won Best Ensemble, so there's not a weak link in the cast. Everyone is swinging for the fences. I do want to single out 3 performances that I consider my favorite in the film. So one of my personal favorites, and I have it written down, I do not speak Korean. If I butchered either Bong or Han's name earlier, I apologize, and if I butcher the following names, I apologize. But Cho Yo-jong as Park Yeon-kyo, to help give more context, she plays the wife in the Park family. She brought this depth and dimension to the stereotypical rich drug-addled housewife. And for those who have seen the movie, and I won't spoil the circumstances surrounding this moment, but she has this look on her face when she's holding her son at the birthday party that I will not forget for a very long time. It was so good. I also want to single out Song Kang-ho. He is apparently a staple in Korean cinema, and thankfully a frequent collaborator with Bong Joon-ho. So as I work my way through Bong Joon-ho's catalog, I hope to encounter Song Kang-ho more. He's so endearing as the Kim patriarch. Watching his face throughout the second half of the movie is a delight. There's so much happening behind his eyes. And he manages to convey this darkness and desperation while also balancing it with this warmth and charm. And I loved his performance. I really hope he kind of gains traction and has more of a profile in American cinema. And that's one of the things that I do appreciate about films like this gaining a lot of traction. Like, yes, it's basic for me to kind of jump on this movie as it's kind of gained popularity in America. And I do hope to watch more international movies. I don't know where I was going with this, but American actors, I guess, they have like a profile worldwide. And I hope that international film stars who aren't in American cinema can have more of a profile in America. That's where I'm going with this. Most of all in the film, I loved Park So-dam as Kim Ki-jun, or the daughter in the Kim family. She is an absolute boss in this film. She is cool, collected, and she has this easy confidence that's so magnetic and charming. She's impossible not to watch when she's on screen. She's clever, she's ambitious, and she's creative. And the way she convinces Mrs. Park that she's an art therapist and an art tutor for their son, it's so cool. I would watch a whole movie about Kim Ki-jung learning all of her skills to get ahead in life, because she forges school documents and stuff, and she's just so cool. I want to be as cool as Kim Ki-jung when I grow up. And I could keep going. The other performances were great. I didn't write their names down, so I'm not going to try to attempt to remember them. The whole Kim family in particular. I know I only singled out Song Kang-ho and Park So-dam, but the whole Kim family does a really good job. There's a lot of chemistry within that family, which is really important. They're not pitiful, which I think is they aren't like the noble poor, and I think that's a really important detail, I guess, because I think it's infantilizing if movies make the poor just strictly noble, because it sucks to be poor, and the movie does a good job of not shying away from that fact. I could get going, and when it comes out on DVD, I will definitely be picking up a copy because I am so excited to find new things to love about this movie. Parasite is a 10 out of 10 across the board. See it if you can, and see it with as little to go on as possible. I know I've kind of given some critical ideas away, but see it with as little information as possible. It's so good. This has been My Year in Movies. Thank you for watching.